Hello, everyone, and welcome to the First Stand Prediction Show. It's honestly just the prediction show that is brought to you by PrizePicks. We did this for Worlds last year, and then we had some conversations with PrizePicks. They really liked the show, and so we've gone ahead and we're now going to bring it back for another 8 episodes. So we will have both First Stand stuff happening. I'm doing a little travel this week, so probably get at least 2 games or 2 shows in of predictions for First Stand, and then obviously we'll return whenever the LTA returns, and we'll also be looking at some other matches potentially in the future. Los Ratones I know is really popular with folks, so we're going to see if we can expand the show a little bit. But let me go ahead and do a quick introduction. We've got Cubby here. Folks might know Cubby from Hotline League and his casting adventures. We have Alias returning to the show for season 2. Alias worked at Riot for a long time, working on things like the dive and many of the different pieces of content they were making, but also worked on Players, for those that are familiar with that show. Is currently not working at Riot, and is hoping that he crushes it on this prediction show, because this is his current occupation. Okay, next up we have Croissant. Croissant is the coach for a team that is filled with really great players, but they're in. I think they just Did they just qualify? Is that what happened, Croissant?
Yeah, I believe so.
He's now a NACL coach? That still exists, right? NACL.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, congratulations on that. Or hopefully your contract gets extended. I don't know what's going on there, but whatever. Either way, great to have you on. Formerly a coach of many different LCS teams back when LCS existed. All right, so if you're just watching the show for the first time, the way this show works is that over the series of episodes, we get different predictions from folks on the show, all my co-hosts here, and we see how well they do versus each other, and we track over the course of the season how well they're doing, how many wins and losses, and all that stuff, and we play this all on PrizePicks. This show would not exist without PrizePicks. It is primarily a show to make predictions around PrizePicks. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about how all that works. But let me go ahead and actually, we have a fun little video. If my co-hosts here would be silent for a little bit, that will explain how PrizePicks works if you decide to play it. If you just want to hang out, you just want to watch people's predictions, then you can do that as well. You don't need to necessarily play PrizePicks to enjoy the show. But here's a quick way to learn how PrizePicks works. This video is brought to you by PrizePicks, the best place to win cash while watching your favorite esports or sports. So I'm going to show you right now how this works on the app. It's super easy to use. So maybe I like Jojo Pyun at more than 9.5 deaths over the first 3 games of his series. And maybe I believe Mickey X is going to get less than 31 assists. I'll go ahead and hit finalize lineup, where it'll show me that if both these things end up coming true and I play an entry fee of, let's say, $20, I'm going to end up winning $60. PrizePicks is available in over 40 states, including California and Texas. And if you sign up, use that link below. It's a big thing that you can do to help me. You can use code Travis whenever you make your first lineup of $5 or more. Win or lose, they're going to give you $50. Now, please only choose to play PrizePicks if you can do so responsibly, but doing so and signing up does help my channel very much. And you can actually join the discussion with other TGI viewers in my Discord. We have a PrizePicks channel. If you're trying to get into it, that's a great place to start. So thanks so much to PrizePicks for sponsoring this piece of content. So there we go. Thanks, Travis, so much for explaining how it works. But again, if you do sign up, please use the link that you can see if you're watching on YouTube. I also just shared it in the Twitch chat. You can also use code Travis, and that's going to get you that promotional offer whenever you sign up. And that's how they know that people signed up through us, and that's how they decide to continue to sponsor things like Hotline League or this show, and how I can continue to pay rent. Okay. Let's go ahead and go through Cubby, do you want to let us know what matches are available right now on PrizePicks?
Yeah, so for First Stand, which starts tonight, there are matches or games available for the first and second day's games. So there are 2 best of 3s tonight and tomorrow, and those are what's up.
And what are those matches?
Yes, we have kicking off the tournament, some NA versus EU, DL versus K-Corp. And then we followed it up with Korea versus China. So Hanwha Life versus Top Esports. That's the Monday set of games. For Tuesday, We have K Corp versus the Flying Oysters. That's the Pacific team. That's what they're calling that region now, LCP. And then followed up by TL versus Top Esports.
Yes.
And I
So
think
that. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to make sure. I'm pretty sure we can only bet on the CFO side or place.
You can only play matches.
Play squares. Yeah, I can only play squares for the CFO side on Tuesday for now. I don't think they have the KC side up.
Okay.
No, they have both.
They do? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
I'm looking at everything right now. Yeah.
Oh, true.
Cool. Well, regardless, so all that is up available right now on PrizePicks for those that want to go do that. We'll also be taking a call from a viewer later on in the show. Normally, in the beginning here, this is when I would ask to all of my co-hosts here to see how well they did based off of their previous lineups. This time, we don't have any previous lineups, so we're going to just see how they're going to do going forward. And let's go ahead and start off with Croissant. Croissant, talk to me about what you would play if you were going to play PrizePicks. And we'll go ahead and switch over to the view right now so that people can see what lineups you would be making.
I am a absolute Vladdy fanatic. Every time I see a new player, I try to like peg them on a scale from like 1 to 10. And when I saw him play in summer, he was like about as high up as I put a rookie that I feel like is playing quite well. And there's been this ongoing beef between Vladdy and APA, which is really funny. And I think it got instigated by Dokla because like APA posted something about him, and then Dokla like tagged Vladdy in it. And then 3 minutes later, Vladdy came in and he's just like, he shot back. And of course, the KC fan base,
ensured it was a ratio.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And so, but all of that's just to say that I think like as high as a lot of people are on Vladdy that watch LEC, I am higher. You know, I just like every game that they had versus G2, even in the first series that they played, it was the only game that they won. I'm pretty sure was he was on Victor against Caps' Aurora, and there was this sequence where he gets ganked mid, he walks forward, dodges the support CC'er, and then he creates a scenario where they get a return kill on Caps. And then for the rest of the game, he's just constantly applying pressure first on the map. I think that Vladdy could very well have a standout performance at this tournament, and that he's matched up well, not just against APA, but also champ pool-wise, potentially going to have, like, even if the team falls, I expect him to have really good individual performances against even the best of the best in Cream and Zeka, etc. So I have him at more than 7.5. Why does it say 7.5 maps, 1 to 2 kills? Oh, map 7.5.
The first two games.
1 and 2. Yeah, to get over 7.5. Which I will say, you're lucky you got that, because currently the line is at 8.5 for me.
I see it. I see it right now. The squares is at. I think you're looking at CFO versus TL.
Okay.
Like Vladdy's 7.5 in the TL square and 8.5 in the CFO square. So.
Yeah. And then conversely, I thought this wasn't possible before, but it seems to be possible now. So I'm just pretty conservative about it. You know, if I'm high on Vladdy, I'm having APA like less than his stat line or his that line. So that's just.
So less than 7 for APA versus KC.
Yeah.
I think you can play this, but I think it just has a lower payout is the way it works. So, okay. So your lineup is Vladdy at more than 7.5 and APA at less than 7 in those first two games.
Yes,
and
sir.
it looks like you wouldn't have any plays for the Tuesday night matches.
No, I didn't know Tuesday was up, so I'd have to take a look or check on that. But
no, it's okay. We'll play with this, and then we'll
Yeah.
see if our good friends Cubby and Alias have options here. So, okay, so we're locking in for Croissant more than 7.5 kills for Vladdy in tonight's match against APA, who Croissant thinks will have less than 7 in that match. The first 2 games of that match, we should say. So there we go. Okay, Alias, what do you got for us?
I actually took it from a different approach. I'm thinking a lot about, and I want to make sure I understand this correctly. My impression is the patch that they're on is the lane swaps are dead patch, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. So with that in mind, I started looking really hard into like what I think the trends could be that that the stats don't reflect right now. And then my takeaway was generally like I do expect more kills. And I also was sort of like narrowing in on the 80 carry pool in this tournament, which obviously like Jackie and Viper are incredible, but Jackie and Viper also will still, even at this like top form that they're at, have a little bit of inty moments where they die. So I was looking at their death lines. And I was like, oh, okay, is it possible that their little death squares are like in a decent spot? And if you look at Jackie Love's, it says 5 across 2 maps against Hanwha and Life. And that I'm like, that's gonna go over. I'm sure.
Okay.
Between the first 2 maps, I do believe that would happen. I believe the Viper Square is also like a pretty good play as well. You can't run 2 deaths, so that's not relevant for this one. But those 2 were like big highlights to me.
So sorry, the Jackie Love is which one?
Jackie Love's deaths.
Against TL or Hanwha?
Hanwha.
Oh, sorry, the Hanwha Life one.
Okay, so over 5, more than 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that was that one, and then the other one that I paired with that was actually a more positive take on the TLKC side. I do believe in the spawn buff, and I believe the person who will benefit the most from the spawn buff is Umpty. And if you go to Umpty's kills, and this is pure speculation on how the jungle pool will go, but I have a feeling that he will feel more enabled to gank, and the Umpty kills of 3.5 seems hilariously low. Even in a what I believe is going to be a 3-map series, I believe it is possible that Umpty will get a Xin Zhao game, and then that Xin Zhao game alone will carry that square over. So that was my twofer for that one. And as far as Tuesday matches, I'm looking at them right now. So I don't have a super.
That's fine.
Like, yeah.
But
so that was my twofer.
Yeah, we'll see if maybe our caller tonight has some matches. If
he already says it's bait, so that's good.
Yeah, Cubby, what do you got for us?
Ooh, I'm gonna go through. I'll talk about a few of the squares that I like, and maybe we'll let viewers pick some of their own plays. I'll give a lock play afterwards, but
yeah, you gotta lock something. Tell me some of the stuff that you like.
Delight and Core JJ over their assist line. I think that Hanwha is much more heavily favored than where the lines look going into this matchup.
The squares,
I also think that TL, they're the underdogs in this, and I have this actually being a little bit TL favored. I think that Vladdy has been putting up better games than APA, but I have a lot of faith in Impact and Core, and also Yon. I think that this is going to be a little bit closer than what people give it credit for. I still think that TL played in the more difficult league, and were able to win it. I feel like LEC still... Equality was not as bad as it was in Split 3 last year, but I still felt like the LTA games were a little bit stronger. And for me, Hanwha are the heavy favorites for the tournament, and I will treat them as so throughout. Another one.
So 2 squares you like are Delight at more than 22.5 assists versus TES,
mm-hmm.
and then Core.
Against K Corp, yes.
A Core against K Corp at more than 19 assists.
I also really like Zeus over 5.5 kills against TES, because that man is 369's father, and you have to lane against him now. So that's actually pretty high for top laners, but I do really like that. And also, I have Vladdy over 8.5 kills against CFO. I don't favor K-Corp as much against TL, so I have his square for the Oysters.
Do you mind if I ask a quick question, Travis, or do you want to get through all the squares first?
No, go for it.
for TL, do you think that, let's say, so your position is that they played in the stronger league, right?
Yes.
Do you feel like they were challenged as much through the split as KC was by like a lower bracket format and the quantity of games and the just like so I think there's an argument to be made for the format situation, and I was wondering how much you guys had read about like APA's interview about like their transition, right? Because they had to travel to the LEC team or KC. They got to stay in like a domestic area and then go to Korea, right? But
Yeah.
TL has to fly to Brazil. There's been talks about how difficult that was for a lot of different teams, including Cloud9, etc. And now they're flying, and there's like, how many players are jet lagged, right? Like, how have they been doing? That's information that I don't have. I don't have all the insight, but it sounds like there's things going on, right? So I was just curious your thoughts on that.
That's fair. I'm gonna have faith that those guys show up and play on the day. Like, I don't know. It's impact correspond. I have faith that like they'll be fine. I feel like they have good experience on that team. Even if some of those variables like they don't concern me too much, but I think that it's very valid to bring that up. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I see TL being under K Corp with the lines, and I feel like that's actually like a coin flip. If anything, TL favored is where I'm at. Couple other squares I like. Kana more than 4.5 deaths, and APA more than 5.5 deaths against in that matchup together. I think
Which
APA
one?
over
Sorry,
5.5 deaths. It's Kana over 4.5 deaths and APA over 5.5 deaths. I think that the death line for APA is actually pretty good. Like sometimes he will get caught in sides, or will make plays that like weren't there. Thinking about a couple of his Azir games that I've seen, and I think Vladdy's a really good player. So I feel like this is where I'd take the square in that matchup. Because I think regardless of TL result, and again that is a coin flip, then APA dies more than 5.5 times.
Sorry, and you were saying Kana at more than 4.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kana's
so why don't you just run this all as one giant lineup? All six of these squares.
We'll see how bad I missed, Travis.
With a 22.5 times multiplier on the power play.
I was gonna say, like, if I had to give one lock, it would be the support assist line. So Delight and Core over supports. Just take who I think are favored to win the series and over supports. But yeah, those are all the squares that I like, and I have different plays with those squares involved.
The Delight and which one? Oh, Core.
Yeah.
And you said Delight or Core at more than 19. So this would be are we locking in this for your official show prediction?
Yes.
Okay. Delight at more than 22.5 assists in the first two games, and Core JJ at more than 19 in the first two games against KC. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna I'm gonna bring in Adam. You guys will have to listen to the stream guest to hear this since we're not in a Discord call, but we're going to see how Adam goes. For those that don't know, Adam is a TGI viewer who hangs out a lot in the PrizePicks Discord channel. If you are somebody who's new to PrizePicks and you want some help, or you want to share some ideas, or you want to ask people about certain lineups that you might want to run, you can always join the Discord, discord.gg/Travis, and you'll find a group of people in the PrizePicks channel. It's been a little quieter lately because there haven't been as many games, but usually when the games start happening, people all start talking about what they want to do. So we're going to go ahead and pull an Adam in now, and hopefully his audio and everything's good. Hello, Adam. Are you here? Oh, you're coming out through the wrong speakers on my end. Let me fix that. Okay, you're here. Hello. Welcome to the show. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from, at this very moment, Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Toronto, Ontario, Canada. All right. Well, what do you think, first off, of our co-hosts' guesses, predictions, lineups, etc.?
I'm going to go from worst to best.
Okay.
Just to give some background, my full-time job is in the betting space.
Okay.
I'm not here to advertise or say anything more than that, but all I do is bet. That's my full-time job. I don't have another job. I primarily work in the DFS space, which is daily fantasy sports books like PrizePicks. And yeah, that's all I'll basically say for now. I think Croissant is the worst one.
Okay.
Even though we love Croissant here and we stan a great analyst, I think his picks are not great analysis from the betting perspective. Travis, just to reiterate, he went with Vladdy over. What was his second pick?
Vladdy and
APA
it
under,
was Vladdy and
correct?
APA. I
Yeah,
think it was
so
Vladdy over on kills and APA under on
APA
kills.
under.
Yeah.
It's okay to take the flip on the matchup. I would say that Vladdy's line might hit. He's been playing great. But this isn't when you're betting, what you're really looking to do is look at the individual player. The team on DFS, because you're only looking at individual player stats, is less important. So in this case, Vladdy looks amazing. He's completely stomped, through the LEC recently, and I think it's a safe play to take Vladdy's more. But APA, on the other hand, has looked okay. And it's very possible that he hits the less line, but it's also possible that, between two games, he gets one game, he gets 4 kills, and the other game, he gets 5. So when you take 2 bets on each side of the matchup, you have a less likely chance of winning the bet. So in a lot of cases, it actually makes more sense to take 2 different matchups and bet on 2 separate games because you're probably much more likely to hit Vladdy's lines 7.5 kills in maps 1 to 2, and then pick a different take a different prop. So I'm voting with Croissant's last. Alias's was, if I recall, he took Delight, and then he took Viper.
He took Viper at over 3.5 deaths and Umpty at more than 3 kills.
I'm gonna put him at second. I think. Actually, I'm taking a look at the boards right now. Viper's been removed, I think, on the deaths.
I think he was literally just now, because I thought we were able to pull it up a second ago.
He might have had Jackie Love, actually. He might have had Jackie Love.
He's
yes.
lying to me in our group chat. He had Jackie Love. You're right.
Yeah, so I actually made a bet on
Oh, yeah, my bad. I
Viper,
said the wrong one.
And at the time, the line was 4 deaths or less. And, if you've watched HLE's games recently, this guy doesn't die and he slaughters a ton of people. But it's a lot easier to bet that he'll not die for 4 times in 2 games than it is to say that he'll get, 14 kills in 2 games. He might, and he probably will, but Top Esports is a really good team. And so as a prop, when betting, it makes way more sense to bet on Viper's deaths. Jackie Love's line makes sense. I would say that Alias's is more likely than Croissant's, but I actually believe Cubby has cooked the hardest. That is my
cooked the hardest. Okay.
That is my hot take.
I
Hitting a 6 leg
I will
is
say that
hard, but if you bet consistently, somebody who bets professionally on DFS, and I'm not the only person who will tell you this, will tell you that it's upfront harder to hit 6 legs, but if you go, 1 win and 4 losses and one of them's a 6 leg, and you get out, what did it return to you? Like the 8.5x?
22.5, I think, was the 6.
Well, there you.
But to be fair, he cowered it out. His official lock was just Delight and Core for the show, so he's not playing all 6.
Yeah, if I was him, I would play all 6.
Okay.
However, his lines on Delight and Core make the most sense. Core is consistent. He plays well all the time, and he'll probably hit 20 assists in 2 games. Supports aren't. If I recall, Core was 19 assists on the line in 2 games. Yeah, I mean, you can't roam, within the first 3.5 minutes, but Core is for sure. That line is for sure hitting. And Delight looks like the best support in the world. It's actually statistically a lot easier to bet on assists and deaths. So from my perspective, Cubby's lineup is the most likely to hit by far.
Okay.
And I would make a bet similar to Cubby's. But yeah, what I actually betted on for the game tomorrow, I don't know if you care to hear, but
yeah. I mean, mostly we're trying to get viewers to call in and share their lineups. So
Sweet.
Specific,
So
their lineups, not bets, but lineups. What lineup do you have for us, Adam?
I'm betting that Targamas gets less than 22 assists. They've changed the line um, at the time from when I made the bet, so I'm just gonna pull up the board here.
Yeah, so right now it's at 21 and a half.
It might, yeah, it might. I can't, obviously I can't make any
And this is versus
guarantees, but
TL, you're saying.
yeah, this is versus TL. So I put that he would get less than 22 assists. I feel like it's pretty likely to happen. He's playing great, but 22 assists between 2 games means he has to get at least, minimum 11 per game. And plus, it's also, you would still profit if the line hit even too. You'd get a different return, but
Sure.
1.5x is better than 3, or better than none, I mean. So I think it's likely that he will either be under 22 assists or hit 22 assists. And then I already spoke on Viper earlier. I bet on Viper under 4 deaths. This guy doesn't die, and he's the greatest AD carry in the world. So
Oh yeah, and that square is gone right now. So
that square is gone. So
Yeah.
I've been looking at the board for the last 24 hours. At one point, they had Viper at 3 deaths, 3.5 deaths, and 4 deaths. When I took the line, it looked the juiciest. And so I I bet that Viper would indeed get less than 4 deaths.
Do you have any
But
plays that you're looking to make that are active right now that people could like consider if they wanted to?
yeah, let me throw up the board quickly.
So while you're doing
Um,
that,
What's the
let
best
me.
play for
I know
Adam?
you won't be able to hear this, but Cubby's going to talk. Cubby, what's up?
I just want to know Adam's best play if he wants to offer that. And also shout out to him for saying support assist lines are good because those are really good. I feel like we found edge with that the last time we were doing this.
Yeah. So well, it sounds like we'll get. You're saying you're hoping to get Adam's best square, Cubby.
Or yeah, just like best lineup.
Best lineup, yeah. So that's what I think he just gave us his best lineup, but unfortunately the Viper Deaths square is no longer there, which is probably a sign that's pretty good because PrizePicks was probably saying, okay, this is too good of a square. We need to take this away. So we'll see. We'll get Adam's best possible lineup in a second here as he goes through it. Adam, just go ahead and let me know whenever you're good. But in the meantime, I can keep yapping with my friends here.
Sure, yeah, I'll take a couple minutes just to take a look quickly.
Croissant, I don't know if you heard, but unfortunately, Adam ranks our caller here ranks your lineup the lowest.
I heard Adam say that, but I also heard him say that he agrees with me on Vladdy. He just thinks that I'm a poor PrizePicks user.
Yes.
Tactically.
Yeah. You haven't learned the strategy yet. So the Vladdy square apparently is one that he likes, but
I've heard the 6-leg thing before, or the six square play, but did that ever hit for any of us? Like last time we did this?
Well, I think the idea is that you play it frequently enough that like eventually over time, playing 6 squares ends up like if you're confident in them, that's where you start to merit. Like maybe you lose 10 of them, but if one of them hits, then you're up,
Yeah.
So
I see.
That's sort of how...
I mean, I could make it a challenge, just like I try 6 squares every single time for the rest of this year.
I've got a lineup,
how many if I actually get one every 10 or something.
Here.
Okay, so Adam's got a lineup, so go for it.
I'm a man of my word, so I'm actually gonna place this bet.
Okay.
I like to put my money where my mouth is. I think Viper will get 9 kills in 2 games. It's Viper. I'm putting more Viper. It's on the board right now. More for Viper. He will definitely. I definitely think that's achievable for him. He is, like I said, the best AD carry in the world. And yeah, Top Esports is an amazing team, but HLE plays through Viper. If they're not playing through Zeus, they're playing through Viper and Delight, which I think our analysts here would probably agree with. And I think it's extremely feasible that Viper is getting the over or more line for his game tomorrow. I like to, I'm gonna give credit where due. I'm I want to see some bloody games, and let's do the Vladdy line as well. We'll take Vladdy on over as well. Statistically, it's better to bet on deaths or bet on assists, but I think Croissant cooked with this one. I think Vladdy's line is going to hit, and I'm submitting this.
Okay, so Viper at more than 9, Vladdy at more than 7.5 kills, and that's against Team Liquid, and for Viper it's against TS. So this is
Correct.
your suggested lineup. And if you could do me a favor, you can screenshot it and put it into the PrizePicks Discord. That would be, or the PrizePicks channel on my Discord. That would be super cool. So
yep,
awesome, Adam. Thanks so much for the help. We'll see how it goes, and maybe we might have you on the next round if you're around, or maybe we'll grab a different caller.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
Scores. So, but thanks again for the call. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, guys. Take care.
See ya. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If you are unaware, there are matches that are going on tonight as we speak from West Coast. Now we just had time change here, so things are a little different. But 1 a.m. on the West Coast, you'll see Team Liquid KC play. That's probably what most people want to tune in for, at least in the West, because they want to see our teams, NA versus EU, or I guess Americas versus EU, whatever. And then on Tuesday, we have Team Liquid playing against Top Esports, but have multiple matches on both these days. So you can go check all that out. Go sign up for PrizePicks if you haven't yet. This VOD will go up, or this video, if you're watching live, will go up as a VOD on the YouTube channel. You can watch it over there if you missed the beginning of it. Or if you're a member, you can watch it on, or a sub, you can watch it over on Twitch as well as a VOD. So thanks everybody for watching. Please come join. First off, please, when you sign up and you make your first play of $5 or more, that is a really great way to help support my content. If you use code Travis, you use that link. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next. We'll probably do one of these on Tuesday if everyone's available. Actually, I'm doing dinner with my father that night. We'll probably do one on Wednesday if everyone's available to see what else is going to go on in First Stand.
Before you go, Travis, I will say that we will not have shows maybe until then, but also join Travis's Discord. There's a PrizePicks channel, and I'll try and be active in there with some of the picks that we're making. So Adam's in there as well, of course. So have fun with that. And we'll probably talk a little bit about some stuff on Hotline League tomorrow too. So. Oh yeah, for sure. See you all.